Afade Guam, and welcome to KOAM News Extra. I'm Sonia Artero. We have a fascinating show for you tonight. The subject is about the sentinels who guard the tomb of the unknown soldier. Being selected to stand watch over the graves of the unknown soldiers is one of the highest honors a soldier in the United States Army can be granted. Such a duty is rigorous, as over 80% of the soldiers who try out never even make it. Such a person must commit 2 years of their life to guard the tomb and live in a barracks directly beneath the tomb. What's more, such a person cannot drink any alcohol on or off duty for the rest of their lives. Plus, they take an oath not to swear in public for the rest of their lives. After 2 years, the guard is given a wreath pin that is worn on their lapel, signifying they served as guard of the tomb. To date, there are only 400 presently worn. The guard must obey these rules for the rest of their lives or give up the wreath pin. Tonight, we'll meet the man who wears badge number 83. He is none other than Juan Blas, who to date remains the only Chamorro to guard the tomb of the unknown soldier. Sir, thank you very much for honoring us with your presence and for coming on.
Sonia, thank you so much for the invitation to appear on KOAM Extra. And definitely, I have a funny feeling that my best kept secret, what I thought was my best kept secret, is about to reveal. And thanks to you being inquisitive and a superb investigative journalist that you are, I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, how much money do I owe you, sir?
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's just my honor. I heard about this story, and I thought, wow, if I could only meet one person that ever served under the tomb of the unknown soldier, it would be a gift from God. And lo and behold, I met a friend who told me he knew you, and I was like, wow, can I have him on my show? So,
well, there goes my secret.
Again, it is an honor. So tell us, how in the first place were you bestowed such an honor?
Oh, my goodness. You know, you're going to take me back 43 years ago when I first joined the Army after graduating from George Washington High School. And really, it was during a real peak of the draft. There was no such thing as a volunteer army. But rather than be drafted and take my chances, I decided to actually go in and volunteer. And perhaps I may have a choice of assignment. But I took my basic training at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And like I said, I've been so lucky all my life, Sonia. Everything seems to fit into place and fall right into place, the old saying of being at the right place at the right time. There was a selection team that came down during boot camp, and they were from the President's Honor Guard in Washington, D.C., and I was the only one selected out of 3,000 from that installation. And of course, the rest of the soldiers that are assigned there are, of course, drafted. And they're usually congressmen and senators' relatives that are placed over there because they're exempted from combat duty. And so there I was. I went to Washington, D.C., having been selected. And then everything fit into place, again, being at the right place at the right time. And it's being assigned there is a multifaceted assignment. But I was assigned to the White House platoon, and I did a lot of ceremonies at the White House, and I was able to serve under 3 presidents and actually met them, and in some cases flew with them on Air Force One. And that will be President Johnson, President Nixon, and President Ford. Then I ventured on after that to do the rest of my career.
Yeah, so let's go back to the tomb of the unknown soldier and that particular guard. Describe for us, if you will, back in the day, what was that like? Paint the picture. Okay. This was during the 60s. So.
Yes, it was actually the late 60s after having done all kinds of other assignments in the White House and the arrival ceremony, Presidential Guard and all that. To be assigned to the tomb of the unknown soldier is strictly voluntary. And I had to walk into the cemetery. The tomb of the unknown is located in Arlington National Cemetery, well known. And it's the only cemetery that's owned and operated by the United States Army, not under the VA. And it's across the Potomac River. When you are there at the tomb, especially at night, there's a beautiful scenery because you can see Washington, D.C., the monument, the White House, all the famous structures. I volunteered and I went over there and started training after duty hours at night. I had to walk through the cemetery to get to the tomb. It's about 2 blocks east of the President Kennedy's gravesite. And so I underwent a rigorous training, and then from there I became, of course, I went to Vietnam. I was exempted from combat duty, but I had to volunteer and serve my country over there. First of all, because my brother was assigned there and I had to relieve him. And it turns out he didn't want to leave Vietnam anyway, so I was stuck there. And I did my duty in Vietnam, but after Vietnam in late 1969, I was assigned right back to the President's Honor Guard again. And this time I was chosen to go out to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and be the Sergeant of the Guard. So the duties entail coming out hourly, every hour during the daytime hours, and addressing anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 people and announcing the formal guard change. And then, of course, at night after the cemetery closes, it becomes a 2-hour vigil for the sentinels. But I did the job of a sentinel, walking the mat at the tomb, and then actually eventually elevated up to Sergeant of the Guard.
And some of the difficulties